So, hello everyone, thank you for being with me today. Today I have the pleasure to speak with you about a new feature that we introduced this year. I think it will really revolutionize how expenses are done. But first, before explaining you all about it, let me introduce myself. So I'm Laura Bertrand, I'm a product owner for the accounting and expense, obviously, application, and I've been working here at Odoo for the past 3 years. If you have any question during this talk, you can scan this QR code. Your question will be added to a pad and I will review them at the end of the presentation. If you don't have time to scan it right now, I will show it again after, so don't worry about it. So let me show you my agenda for today's talk. First, I will speak about what are the challenges that we identify and that we identified as being the cause for us wanting to launch this feature. Then I will give you a brief solution overview. Then I will go into details in the interface to give you the demonstration, so you will be able to know how to use this new card. And then I will finish by a conclusion and, of course, a question and answer session. So, what are the common pain points when it comes to expense management for companies? First of all, there is the lack of real-time visibility. So when employees go on a business trip, they often don't record the expense directly, they wait to have come back, and that can take weeks. So for a manager, it's difficult to follow the budget, to know where it is. So this is the first pain point. So there is delayed reporting and, of course, overspending. Then there is the manual process. There is a lot of time wasted on approval and reimbursement. So those manual process for everyone in the chain, for the employee it's painful, for the manager it's painful, but also for the accountant, because the accountant afterwards needs to take care of the reconciliation between the transaction and the tickets, the expenses that have taken place before. Then there is also the limited control. So nowadays, how most companies do is that they use company cards, for example, and they are sharing this card between, for example, the sales department, and it's very difficult to know which expense has been done by which person. So there is a fraud risk with those shared cards. And of course, the last pain point is the poor user experience. Nobody wants to record an expense manually and so on. It's painful. So what is the Odoo solution to those challenges and to those issues? The solution is this. So this is the expense card. What is it exactly? It's an expense card that is powered by Stripe Issuing and is using the Mastercard network. We have integrated totally the card engine into Odoo, so from Odoo you can create, manage, configure your card as you like. If you are not familiar with Stripe Issuing, Stripe is a payment provider that provides many services such as card management. So we have integrated everything. I will show you how to configure it in Odoo, but the main advantage is that the issuance of card is instant. So there is no delay, no paperwork. So if you have an employee that requests a card or that tells you that he has some marketing needs, it's instant. You go on Odoo, you create a card, it takes some seconds. Of course, if it's a physical card, you need to have it delivered and it can take 2 to 3 days, for example. But for virtual card, it's instant. What are the key benefits of those kind of cards? First of all, you have real-time control. So when an employee will create the card, you will see directly as a manager or as an accountant what transaction took place. You will also see it as an employee, of course. You can set some spending limits per card. You have mark-on categories that are allowed or not, and you have time windows. So you can decide, no, this card, I want to use it only. I want my employee to use it only for the next 2 months, and that's it. You have also built-in automation, so each transaction that is made with the card, each expense created using this card will be auto-approved because we consider that the manager has configured the approval flows beforehand. But as an accountant, you will still have the responsibility to post it, and the reconciliation will be automatic. Next, the key benefit is that it's totally integrated within the expense and the accounting application, and the workflow is totally seamless for the user. Of course, the user experience is simple, I hope, so it gives a smooth experience for everyone. And then we have also an enhanced security, so no private data on the cards are stored into Odoo. So there is two-factor identification for employees when they need to see the PIN code for a card, for example, or virtual card details. What are the workflow of those cards? So in an expense process, you have three kinds of individuals that are involved. First, you have the employee. Then you have the manager that will approve the card, the expense, and then you have the accountant. So as an employee, what happens? You will simply use your card, you make the payment, and then the expense will be created in Odoo. And when you do that, we directly receive a notification to remind you to attach the receipt. So it's very easy. You do that, up notification, don't forget to attach the receipt. You attach the receipt and it's done. And you submit the expense. So you have 3 steps, very simple. For the manager, the steps are before this process. So he needs to create the card for the team and he can set the controls that he wants. So for example, he can say, okay, my employee is going to business trips to Milan. He can only use this card in Italy and for a maximum amount of 1,000 €. That's it. I grade the monitor usage because it's not mandatory, but he will have the possibility to do so. And then, as an accountant, what you need to do is that first you review the expense and you post it. That's it. The reconciliation is totally automatic. So that means you don't have all those manual workflow to do afterwards, like it is the case, like it was the case before. So now let's dive into the demonstration. So here. For the purpose of this demonstration, I will have 2 roles. First, I will be the administrator of my expense application, and then I will be the employee. So you'll see clearly how I can configure my card, create the cards for my team, and post the expense. And you will also see the view of the employee, so you will discover how I can access to my card details. I will show you exactly all the steps needed to configure this feature, so when you will use it, you will be able to do it yourself from scratch. So, as I am an administrator, I will open my expense application. So here I have my expense application, and I need to go to the configuration. If you don't have the configuration menu item, it's because you don't have the right access right. So I'm opening my settings. And if you are already familiar with expense, you directly can notice that this menu item is new. It's the expense card. You need to check this checkbox and it will install the expense card module. Then you'll see that you have a Stripe Issuing journal that is suggest. It's the journal where all the transactions will be fetched, where you can find everything. If the one that Odoo suggests is not convenient, you can of course choose a one that is more convenient for your needs. Then here I have already done the configuration, so I have those buttons, but normally you have a connect button. What is this connect button? It allows you to follow the Stripe Connect onboarding. So to use this feature, you need to have a Stripe Connect account. It's very easy to do. Normally in 15 minutes you can do it. So you will need to give information such as who is the legal representative of the company, what is his ID, and this KYC process will take more or less 24 hours to be validated by Stripe. So once you receive the confirmation of your account creation, you have this green tag to explain that your account is verified. And now that you have a configured and verified account, okay, that's nice, but what do we do? You open your accounting app. And on the accounting app, you will see a new journal, which is Stripe Issuing. Because, of course, in order for your employee to use the card, you need to have some money on it. Otherwise, it won't work. So to have some money on your account, you need to top up, to make a top up, so to send the money to the bank account dedicated to this card. It is one main account that is linked to all the cards, so it is very important to have a dedicated limit on each card. You click on top up, and here you see some payment instruction. You have some explanation just to tell you how it works, and you can choose the amount that you want to wire. So here I have 1,000. For me it's not enough. I want to wire 2,000 euro, and I can do the top up. The QR code, of course, is changing when you change the amount. The bank Stripe has made a partnership with Circle Bank. It is a Luxembourgish bank who has subsidiaries also in London and Frankfurt. So you do the top up, and you will see that the balance has increased. So on the transaction, you see my Stripe top up of 2,000 euro. In a real environment, the money takes 2 to 3 days to be sent. So now, great, I have money on my account, perfect. What do I do as an administrator? I create the card that all my employees are waiting for. I open my expense application, and I guess that you already seen it, but you have this menu item cards. I'm opening it. And here I have all the cards that have already been generated within my company. As you can see, I have money. And because I am an administrator, I can see the cards of everyone. But if I were an employee, I would only see my cards. So for example, you can see that we have a first card here that has been blocked. It's because the card has been lost. We have here a physical card that is in draft state. It's because I still need to order it, but I didn't do it yet. We have a postcard because the person is on holiday and I don't like to let the cards be active for a while. So I can really change the state, either pause them, activate them, block them. The blockage will be definite, as you need to know. Or you can have some pending card. For example, you have a physical card that you have ordered but you haven't activated yet, because like any card, when you receive a card, you need to confirm it to make sure that is not someone that wants to steal the card. So I will show you how it works when you create a virtual card for an employee. So now, I'm the administrator and I want to create a virtual card for Marc Demo. Because Marc Demo is going to a business trip to Berlin. He's a sale in my company and he goes on a lot of business trips, so for me it's very convenient to just create a virtual card when he goes there. I'm here setting a time limit, so business trip to Berlin. I will first select the countries authorized for the card, so I will add Germany, of course, and Belgium, because he might do some expenses on the way there. The categories, I will only accept him to use some restaurants and travel and accommodation categories, so I'm selecting that here. Before selecting that, I just want to explain it how it works. So for the expense category authorized, we use the Mercon category code. What is it? It is code used by the card provider network. Here it's Mastercard that know which supplier has which code. So for example, if you want to buy some food but you have only veterinary services, for example, accepted on your card, it won't work. The transaction will be refused because Mastercard will detect that it is not authorized. So for the manager, it's very easy to manage. So you add those categories here and you set the limits. So the business trip is in 1 week. I will set a limit of 1,000 euro per all time, because after that amount I don't want the card to be available anymore. But I could choose day, week, month, year, or all time. And I will set a limit per transaction. I will put 500, so my sale can buy a flight ticket easily with that amount. It should be enough, normally. Okay, so I'm activating the card. So now, let's go to the profile or Marc Demo to see how it looks like. Here I'm on the profile or Marc Demo. I am Marc Demo and I have received an email telling me, hey, you received the card. Nice. Let's do a quick verification. So I'm opening my expense view, and I also have the card menu item. And you can see I have less card than in the other screen because all those cards are linked to me. So I have a business trip to Lisbon coming up in a few months, so I have already my virtual card. I have my card linked to my business trip to Berlin. It's here, perfect. And I have a physical card. This is the one that I use on a regular basis for all year long. I will have a look at my virtual card that has just been generated. Here you can see that you have a tab which is card details. Thanks to that, the employee will be able to see all the details of the card, so the card number and the CVV. If I click on View Details, you can see that you have a two-factor authentication window. So Marc Demo will receive an SMS with a code that he will be able to put here, so he will see all the information. So here I receive the SMS, perfect. And I see the details of my card. Those information are not stored into Odoo, so that cannot be stolen. Perfect. But now, before thinking about my business trip, I will do some expense with my physical card, because I have just had a lunch meeting with a client and I want to pay. We want to pay a burger for 45 euros, so let's try. I use my card. Here I have my terminal that I need to open. And here I have my expense that I can pay. So the burger was really great. Perfect. I have the ticket that is printing. Okay. And you will see that the expense directly appear on my expense list view. So let's refresh the page and you will see. So here you notice that before I had only one expense for this card. Now I have two. You have the expense of 45 euros that has just been created. And you have the notification that I received on my phone, please upload the receipt. So for me it's so easy. I'm at the table, I pay, I have the reminder, I do it, I upload, it's done. So I attach the receipt. You can see that it's the Yummy Burger. It's the right category because we detected that it was the food category and the total is the good one. So I attach the receipt. Here, Yummy Burger. It's fine and I submit it. And on my side, I have nothing else to do. You can see that I have no more action that I can do. So as an employee, my part of the job is totally done. So let's go back to the administrator view. Now I'm the admin and I'm looking for the transaction of Marc Demo. And we can see here where it is. I will search from the card. Marc Demo, physical. I have the expenses. And yes, it was just there. And the expense that has been approved is there. But I want to post it as an accountant. I just want to show you, before posting it, what we have in the accounting. So on the accounting, on the Stripe Issuing, you have the transaction and you see the new transaction that hasn't been reconciled yet, of course, because the expense hasn't been posted by the accountant. So if now the expense is posted by the accountant, so I will go here to the expense, Yummy Burger, I post it. You can see that a journal entry has been automatically generated from there and linked to the transaction. That's the main important point. So here it's reconciled. As an accountant, it's so easy. I just need to click on post. That's all. And you can see also the attachment directly on the transaction, just here. But now, what if, as Marc Demo, I want to buy my flight ticket to Berlin with that card? Normally with that card I have only the food category authorized, so it shouldn't work. Let's try it. So my expenses, I will try to buy a flight ticket for 200 €, charge, and I'm asked to say the PIN. It was that. Transaction failed. Indeed, it's normal. I'm not authorized to do that. Let's have a look if we have this transaction. So I'm opening my card, and I can see that now I have 3 expenses. And we have the expense that has been refused. So as an employee and a manager, we know when expenses have been refused and also why. Because here you can see the reason, MCC not allowed. So for the tracking, it's very, very simple. So now I think I have given you a tour of how Odoo Expense card, of how the cards are configured in Odoo. So let's go back to the presentation. Oops. So to conclude, here is a small recap about those cards. The card feature is available for enterprise users and there is no additional cost. That means that whatever the amount of virtual or physical card that you will order, Odoo takes that cost into account, into charge. It's available in Europe, not in Switzerland, because I know that we receive this question a lot. Unfortunately, that depends on Stripe Issuing. It's not the choice of Odoo. And the USA is coming soon. For the onboarding step, just as a reminder, you need first to activate the expense card feature, to set up a Stripe Connect account, to configure the card spending policies, and then you are good to go. So that concludes my presentation. I thank you a lot. I want to thank you a lot for your attention during this presentation, and let's see if you have some questions.
Thank you, Laura, for your presentation.
You're welcome.
We do have some questions.
Yes.
So the first one is, what happens if there is a vendor bill related to the expense? It seems that we have 2 journal entries, one from the expense app and another one from the incoming vendor bill. How we can unify this?
No, we have only one journal entry for the expense. So because here the payment has already been made, we don't create a vendor bill. So that means that when you create the expense and you post it, it will create a payment. You have an entry related to this payment, but there is no vendor bill involved here. But for the vendor bill, it is the flow of the expense that is paid by an employee. Here it's not this flow.
Okay, perfect. Is it a debit card or a credit card?
It is a debit prepaid card.
Okay, because sometimes credit card is required for online purchase. Is there a solution for that?
I will look into it.
Okay, perfect. Can an employee non-Odoo, non-employee in Odoo have a user? Sorry. Can an employee without users in Odoo have a card?
No. We need to have a user account because the PIN information are on the user profile like I have shown.
Okay, thank you. Is it possible to link the card to the subscription and set specific parameters around that?
Currently, no.
Okay. Do you have PCI or PCI DSS certification?
Stripe has, so yes, it's PCI. Sorry, what? It's PCI compliance, yes.
Okay. Can you block cards automatically for some parameters when an employee have a certain amount or receipt missing?
Yes. We have a block card. Currently there is no automatism, but you can easily do it yourself. So on an expense, if you have the card, I didn't show it before, but you have this block button where you can specify the reason, so either lost, stolen, order, and an employee can also pause the card himself.
Okay, thank you. Is it possible to have some review over the transaction, for example, by a manager before transactions are posted in accounting?
Could you repeat? Sorry, I was distracted.
Is it possible to have some review over the transaction, for example, by the manager before transactions are posted in accounting?
The manager could, but currently the flow is that all the transactions that are made with the expense card are auto-approved.
Okay, thank you.
But he can have a look at the expenses, I mean.
Okay,
but
perfect.
there is no automation for that currently.
Okay, thank you. We still have a lot of questions, but unfortunately we are running out of time. Where can people find you to ask your question?
I will be at the accounting booth in 30 minutes or so because I will listen to the talk of my colleague. But in 40 minutes, something like that, I will be at the accounting booth.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.